Do you know the idea of a Renaissance man?
If I know correctly, it's a person who does like just a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
They're not pigeonholing themselves, whether it be, you know, intellectually or spiritually or anything. Just a
Yeah.
person who tries to dip their toes in a lot of different things.
Seems like you're a little bit of that.
Yeah, I do try to do that. I appreciate you saying that because that's actually something I've been working on. Because in college, the first few years, I just kind of ran and studied chemistry, and that was kind of it. And then so since then, I've been trying to do a lot more kind of stuff, and it's biting me back in the ass a little bit because you can get a little bit too strung out. You're doing too many things, and then you can't really dive into any one of those things. But I think there's always lots of value in trying new things, even if you don't really dive into it too much. Yeah, it's going to be a dynamic person for sure.
The other thought that I really loved, and I think you'll like it. This was somebody else's idea, but I still think about it. Is they went to, I think they went to a movie. I think it was La La Land, and that movie's about people dancing and stuff like that. And he went with his wife, and they had a great time.
Okay.
And upon stepping out, he wasn't mad about it, but made the observation of I just paid money and 2 hours of my time to watch a couple fall in love and dance when I could have been doing that with my own wife that I took her to. And it was an idea of outsourcing our experiences.
Okay.
Was the idea he connected it to, which I really like, where sometimes I stare at my phone and I'm like, why I do this way too much. Why do I do this? I should be just doing the things I like watching myself, right? Yeah. Instead of watching climbing videos, to a certain point, you just need to start climbing, right? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think the value of that is because maybe that person, if he hadn't watched Ryan Gosling go dance on stage for 2 hours, maybe you wouldn't have had that realization, oh, maybe that's something I should try. And so sometimes it's how you react to that stuff. Same thing with social media. You see other people doing really, really cool stuff, and you're like, oh man, that I feel bad about myself because I'm not doing cool stuff. And then you can react from that in two ways. You can kind of feel bad, or it's oh, maybe this should be a prompt to maybe do something different and try something new. I think it's important not to overexpose yourself to those things, because then you start misinterpreting your life, where it's all these things I could be doing and I'm not doing it, when in actuality you could be leading a really, really cool life, but you're just always comparing it to other people. But there was a specific instance that completely reminded me of that. When my parents were here in Fort Collins, and on their last night, I wanted to show them the different things that I had gotten into since moving to Colorado. So I took them rock climbing at Whetstone. I took my mom out salsa dancing to show her that. And so for the last night, I wanted to show them a band in Fort Collins that I really enjoyed, and I knew the buddies and the people in the band were some of my friends. And so we went out and watched the show, and it was great. And during it, because I also really enjoy playing music, and something I really enjoy doing. And my dad kind of said, look at, you can get that fill by just coming here and, watching other people play the music. Doesn't that kind of scratch that itch? And I was like, Dad, you don't understand. When you do it, it's a way different experience. And so kind of like La La Land, you can go there and be entertained doing that. But then you think oh man, why am I not doing that myself? And so I feel that a lot especially with music, and trying to do that yourself. But I think it's really important not to think about that too much, because unfortunately I've realized this, you can't do everything. And so you just gotta identify what are the things that I really want to do, and you just gotta do those. And I mean, it goes the idea of opportunity cost. When you pick one decision, you've given up everything else that you could have done. And so I think it's important to consider that, but not think about that too much. And then then how would you decide to do anything? Because there's everything that you could do.
Yeah. And that's the problem I sometimes find. I was I want to be a city planner. I want to be a dietitian. I want to go personal train people. It's they all sound so fun.
Yeah. I think it's a frustrating problem, but I think it's a good thing to be wow, there's so much cool stuff to do, rather than be in a situation man, I don't really even want to do anything. Nothing seems interesting right now.
Yeah. Hey everybody, if you like that clip, go ahead and go down into the description below and find the full podcast if you want to watch the whole thing. And if not, hop to the next video or onto the channel and find another clip that interests you. I'll see you in the next one.